Good afternoon. It's again Friday, 5:30 p.m. and of course Danny Davis. A little bit late. I apologize for that. Unfortunately, the traffic was horrendous for some particular reason. I guess it's because it's Friday. That sometimes happens, but we're getting down to the end of summer. And it's such a pleasant time of the year. I want to wish everybody, first of all, a happy Labor Day. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about the role of organized labor in helping to shape the country in which we live. Before unions were organized, before unions became potent influences, wages for many of what we call the average working person, wages were unbelievable, off the chart. I don't mean off the chart in terms of being up, but off the chart in terms of being down. The role of organized labor has been so impactful until it's almost difficult to measure. And I know that there are some people who take the position that labor is not fair. As a matter of fact, the governor of the state of Illinois is trying his best to make Illinois a right to work state, which would mean that some of the instances where unions negotiate, where union membership decide if they can't negotiate collectively and they can't reach an agreement, they will strike. And I guess it was the United Auto Workers who I always consider as a great union, and a great union that there has been, created or invented this business of striking in a real kind of way. But let's go to the phone and see what our callers got to say.
Good afternoon, Dr. Davis, U.S. Representative 7th District. I was doing some reading about unions, and as I was doing some reading about unions, there was some people, I ain't going to call their name, some of them is not around right now, that thought union was sort of like being a little bit of a communist. That was like a communist type idea.
Yeah.
And there was one, hello?
Good thing.
And there was, that's just some connected saying that's like a communist type thing. And then when you look at, if I'm lying about something, you stop me dead in my track.
No.
Unions started to go like downhill, especially during the Reagan administration, because some people don't remember. He sort of helped broke the pilot union, and they wanted to strike for much more fair working conditions, and that's when unions started going downhill. Because we look at the facts. I'm talking about the facts. Back in 1977.
Well, the pilots are the air traffic controllers.
Right. Like I said, back in 1977, 1 out of 4 Americans belonged to a union. Now, you don't see too many American workers belong to a union at all, because it seems like unions seem like a thing of the past almost.
Well, there are still very powerful, potent public sector unions and private sector unions. I think there has been a decline in membership.
Yes.
And there are people who try to break unions, but I tell you, I love unions. I don't make any
things about unions. It wasn't for unions. Some things that people enjoy right now, like paid vacation, overtime, and time and a half, and like I said, like I mentioned, vacation. A lot of people that's not in unions, they enjoy those things. And certain things they wouldn't have today, it wasn't for union. I want to hang up and give other people a chance to
Safe
call.
working conditions, safer working conditions. So I agree with every bit of that. Of course, our number is 312-738-1060, and give us a call. Caller, are you there?
Good evening, Congressman Davis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my opinion about the unions is they're another form of, I want to think, affirmative action for some people. And with the Barack Obama Presidential Library coming to the Woodline area, it should give this particular area an opportunity to get out and get some skilled tradesman training with the unions so that they can participate and pass that legacy on to their children that they had something to do or participated in building of that library in this area, especially since we're the indigenous people in this area at this time. Take your comment offline.
You know, we don't hear much about affirmative action these days. And one of the reasons that we don't hear is because the advocates for affirmative action have not been as engaged of late. And that's because many people, the courts have not been so kind to us lately, but also people think that we have arrived. I'm saying people feel that there isn't as much need to push the concept of affirmative action, which is a kind of equalizer or preference that oftentimes under affirmative action guidelines that sometimes promote certain guarantees and also promote some preferences and also give a little edge to groups who've been disadvantaged. Let me ask our caller if they want to cut on in. Yes, caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
This is Harold Lucas from the 31st Precinct of the 3rd Ward.
Yes, sir, Brother Harold. How are you doing?
I know you all the way back from teaching me at Malcolm X College.
Yes, sir.
That's how far back we go.
We
calling on two fronts. First one being Senator Mark Kirk, Durbin, and Rush have introduced the Bronzeville Black Metropolis National Heritage Area Act.
All right.
And that's a major initiative, and that's 20 years of work. But we also are asking you, Congressman, to very respectfully intervene on the injustice of us being illegally locked out of the Bronzeville Visitor Information Center by our good friend. We won't go into names, right? But bottom line, we were locked out. We've been locked out. I think it's a plan to try to take over our successful entity that has laid the groundwork for the African-American heritage tourism development and outdoor recreational development of the South Lakefront region of Chicago. We're here. We've survived it. We need to be going upscale with economic resources, so I'm imploring you to step in and intervene on behalf of the community so that we don't lose a major institution that has introduced heritage tourism to the South Lakefront region and built the infrastructure of a destination marketing initiative to make the black community on the South Lakefront region of Chicago a world-class neighborhood.
All right, and let me ask you this. Do you want the act introduced in the House that Mark Kirk has?
Paula Robinson is leading that effort. Their group is out at the African Festival of Arts this weekend.
All right.
I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be enacted. What we're doing, Congressman, is creating real grassroots, bottom-up
economic development projects that create jobs for our young men so they don't have to resort to gang dealing and drug dealing to survive. They need gainful employment. They need entrepreneurial businesses. They need to be trained in growth industries of maritime, outdoor recreation, the Port Authority, which is wide open. All of these opportunities are 21st century opportunities that for whatever reason our status quo, some of our status quo elected officials have not delivered in terms of facilitating that process of moving to break the cycle of poverty in our neighborhoods.
All right, well, let me tell you, there's nothing that intrigues me more than trying to figure out a way to do something, especially with the population group that you sort of alluded to. Look, let's have a meeting.
Set it up. We have my person that I work with. Will be in touch with your office. We'll get it set up. We need to intervene. You know, it's time for me to do some other things. When they locked me out, Congressman, it just made me realize how broadly we live through the South and even the west side of Chicago. We need to be going upscale. These communities need to be redeveloped from the bottom up, creating high-quality products and services that we're selling to each other and the international traveler who wants to come and visit us.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Your voice, Congressman. Hang in there. I saw you in Bud Billiken Parade also. Take care.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to it. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Congressman Davis?
I'm doing fine, James. How are you?
Okay, now, you know the violence, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, not you, Congressman Davis. Now, the media and all the other parties, not you, Congressman Davis. Now, they can't stop the violence. And now, like I said to you, the police doing the violence, and they still, and the people who asked for the body camera, that wasn't no good. And God got the last word. And you know Joe, right?
Yep.
Now, he asked for the body cameras, right?
Yes, I do.
Now, okay, he asked for the body camera. He booed and cried about it. Now, see, since he asked for it, the body camera, everybody asked for the body camera, right? And the police still doing it out here, Congressman Davis. And like I said, God got the last word. And you know what, Congressman Davis? God gonna deal with Joe for saying, asking for the police body camera. And he know the police, Joe know the police still doing it out here. And what did he do for the body camera? God gonna deal with Joe, Congressman Davis.
All right. Well, I think the body cameras are helping some.
No, they ain't doing no good because if they were doing some good, Congressman Davis, why the police still doing it out here, Congressman Davis?
All right. Well, we'll try to see if we get an answer.
The last word.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, the why question is a heavy question. It really is. Let's go back to the phone. Caller, are you there?
James brought my name up, and James going to get an answer for me. First of all, James, I want to tell you this. Put your brain in gear before putting your mouth in motion. First of all, what the camera has done is, it's like a third witness there. All right, they my friend and your friend. It just gives evidence. And because of that, we have had some changes brought back. We have been put out in front in terms of the nation what's going on. And when you have seen situations like that one case, that McDonald case, where this person was shot 16 times, and it proved how police officers lied in terms of their reports, that's the bottom line. When we got the federal government, the Justice Department, looking in at Chicago, it's not perfect. We got this COPA that's supposed to replace the Independent Police Review Board. It has done a lot of good because you got the police superintendent right now asking for 5 police officers to be fired. So it has done some good. Police officers cannot do the same old thing what they've been doing for years. For years, people been saying this been going on, and we ain't had the evidence. We didn't have the proof. Those cameras provide the facts. That's one thing that does, the facts. And like I said before, James, please use that proverb. Put brain in gear before putting mouth in motion. Have a good day.
All right. Well, you're saying that it's done some good. It's not a panacea. It's not a cure-all, but it is helping to move the process along, and it's providing information that otherwise we would not have had. And if we didn't have the information, we probably would not have had the very successful march down Michigan Avenue. We probably would not have seen the firing or the letting go of the police superintendent that we had, McCarthy. And in all likelihood, we wouldn't have had the great victory for Kim Foxx in terms of winning the primary election for state's attorney. So I'd have to agree that it has done and it is doing some good and is going to do even more. Caller, are you there? Yes, caller, are you there? Oh, I thought we had another caller on, but we are open to another caller. I know that there are a lot of things going on. I am just excited about the level of community activity that has been going on this summer. I mean, parades and backpacks and back-to-school supplies and block club meetings and block club parties and people, oh my goodness. I visited an early childhood education program earlier today. As a matter of fact, I was in Chinatown with CASEL, one of the most effective social service agencies that exists anywhere in the city of Chicago. I saw graduates from their culinary arts program who just finished learning how to become chefs, and some of them had just been hired. Others had interviews coming up at some of the well-known restaurants. They were black, they were white, they were Chinese. It was a very mixed group. And so, in spite of all the negative things that we know about, there are an awful lot of good things going on in Chicago. And I got an opportunity to witness some of it today when I visited with Bernie Wong and the CASEL Chinese American Service League over in Chinatown earlier today. I know that the Festival of the Arts is coming up this weekend. I generally always manage to get to it one way, shape, form, or fashion, or one way or the other. I managed to make it last year. It was just outstanding, unbelievable. As a matter of fact, I was the Grand Baba last year, and I'm sure that it's going to be just as good this year. So I'm going to encourage people to kind of make use of this last outdoor weekend. And some people get a little older as time comes up. My birthday is September the 6th, and so I'm having a birthday party on Sunday at 3 o'clock, from 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock, out at the Homan Square Pavilion, the Homan Square Garden. Everybody is welcome, and anybody who would love to want to come out and share a birthday with me and my good friend Garfield Major. We do this thing together on WVON, well, the old WVON, WRLL. Come on out and join us Sunday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.